Peace, soul survivors. I am so excited for today's episode where my guests are the dynamic women of Black Bottom Gun Club and Malcolm Little Gun Club of the Detroit and Lansing NAAGA chapters. But make no mistake, these women are more than just members. They are range safety officers, certified instructors, and organizers of the monthly Ladies Range Day, which allows for beginners all the way up to badass shooters to commune in sistership and friendship and continue to build skills together. On this episode, we chat about our first experiences with guns, how Black women with firearms are viewed, and why it's so important as Black women to write our own narratives in this space. We also uplift how wonderful and important the support from the men of the club has been to us. It is truly a genuine firearm family affair. You can find this episode on Apple, Spotify, iHeart, iTunes, and most podcast streaming platforms. So sit back and enjoy as I chat with Lavette, Crystal, Monica, and Jessica. Welcome to The SoulVival Life. Okay, so today I have with me the ladies of various gun clubs. So we have the women of Black Bottom Gun Club here, and we also have someone here from Malcolm Little Gun Club. So I'm going to let the ladies introduce themselves. I'm so excited. This is the first episode for season 2 of SoulVival Life, the podcast, and I couldn't think of a better way to just put this out there to start this off with the women, the powerful women of these gun clubs. So I'm gonna let you guys have a chance to introduce yourself, tell me who you are, what you're doing in relation to firearms, and then we'll just go from there. So I'll let, who wants to kick it off?
I'll kick it off. Sure, so Adrian, thank you for having us, first of all. My name is Jessica. I serve as Black Bottom Gun Club's manager, managing Ladies Range Day events, things like that. I am a NRA certified range safety officer right now, and also training to be an instructor. So we're moving right along.
All right. Yep. Jessica keeps us on our toes, making sure we get out there, get our training in monthly. So thank you for joining us, Jessica.
Yeah.
I'll go next. My name is Crystal Miller, also known as the Arm Lover. I'm a member of Black Bottom, also a member of Malcolm Little Gun Club. I am a newly certified USCCA instructor. Thank you, ladies. And I'm also head of the women's department in Malcolm Little Gun Club also. And I'm glad to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Thank you for joining us, Crystal. Appreciate it. All right, Lavette.
Howdy, y'all. Thanks, Adrian, for having me. My name is Lavette. I'm a member of Black Bottom Gun Club. Also a certified instructor. I'm certified both USCCA and NRA, and I'm also NRA certified range safety officer.
Thanks for joining us, Lavette. Look, Lavette, if y'all shooting next to this sister right here has been a pleasure. Like, she be on it. When I first started, I would be so amazed, like, oh my God, how many times I gotta come here in order to get on Lavette's level? Lavette, you are awesome.
Thank you for that.
And you love it. So, and I love that you like teaching all of us, us newcomers, somewhat newcomers. Thank you.
As you say though, Adrian.
I know I gotta quit saying newcomers, right? I'm not a newcomer anymore. Well, thank you, Lavette. And we have Miss Monica.
Hello, everyone. My name is Monica Alexander. I'm the founder of Balanced Body Network, a holistic health and wellness company, and I'm the creator of Balanced Body Tactical, which is a nonprofit to teach responsible gun ownership. I am also a proud member of Black Bottom Gun Club, where I've met all these amazing ladies, and don't sleep on Adrian either. She got a trigger finger too. So, so thank you for having me.
Thank you, Monica. Glad you could be here. Yeah, Monica bring all the toys, right? So that's Monica's thing, is like, what is she bringing today? All right, like, okay, I know she's bringing something for us to play with, but thank you, ladies. So today we're just going to talk about the importance of firearm, defense, safety, not only just for defense, but it is a form of self-care. And that's one of the things that I really like about the ladies of Black Bottom Gun Club, is that we always lift that up. There is a true, genuine sisterhood within the group, you know, so it's like even coming in feeling intimidated, because it is a very intimidating thing. At least for me, it was, you know, even though it's intimidating, you have so much support, you know, coming from the woman. And I genuinely appreciate that. So just in talking about that, I'd like to hear about whoever wants to jump in and tell me about maybe the first time you picked up a firearm and shot it. Like, what were you thinking, or how did it make you feel your very first time?
I'll go. The first time I shot was for work, which was about 25 years ago or so, you know, which is amazing because I'm only 21.
Experience.
Right.
Experience from the womb.
Right.
I came out shooting. But it really, I remember it just really had no effect on me, you know, because there were other like first time shooters around me, and they were like really nervous, and like the gunfire affected them. It just really had no effect on me. I just couldn't wait to do it again. I'm like, oh, is that a shotgun? Can I get that too?
Just the enthusiast from day one, from shot one.
Yeah, and just over the years, it got stronger. Just got just like almost an obsession where I really just love it. It's like therapeutic.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Anybody else feel the same way? Was it empowering the first time?
Yeah, I was going to say that, like, for me, it was empowering. My first time with shooting, I went to the range with the president here at Malcolm Little Gun Club, and I had this little pink Ruger LCP2. It was a 380. And it wasn't my like first choice, but it was like when the pandemic like first kicked off or whatever, and it was what I could find. Mm-hmm. And so I went to the range, and I shot it that first time. I did like a little yell, like ah, but overall, like my body, like I didn't feel like scared or anything, but I did feel empowered. And I was like, you know what? If I can come out here and do this, I know other women can come out here and do this also.
Facts. It does help going with someone that's very comfortable. How about Jessica or Monica? How was your first experience?
So, you know what? My first experience shooting was empowering, but I was reluctant to share mine because it was in an uncontrolled space. It wasn't with someone that was experienced and or operating safely, to be honest. So it was empowering, I will say that. And it was also empowering because it was amongst people that looked like me and had a shared experience. As opposed to the next time I shot a firearm, which was in a gun range, and it wasn't surrounded by people that had shared experiences. So I was carrying anxiety from being around people that, you know, may not have wanted me there. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I will say the first time was super empowering. It made me want to go back, but the second time when I went to the gun range, it wasn't so good. So.
Oh, the second time it wasn't so good, you said.
Right.
Oh, interesting. How about you, Monica?
So first time I handled a firearm, I was a little girl, you know, the typical 4th of July, New Year's Eve kind of a thing. You know, stepdad put a shotgun in my hand and held my hands with me, and we pulled the trigger. And of course, it scared the bejesus out of me, but it was a part of our family. That's what we did. And then I watched gun violence happen to a close family member. So I left that alone for a long time. And when I joined the military in boot camp and they introduced firearms to us, I completely freaked out. And my entire squadron, my entire group, they rallied around me. So when we went to the range, nobody shot. Everybody just sat there with me. And they gave me the firearm with nothing in it. Pull the trigger, pull the trigger. Put one round in it, pull the trigger. Everybody cheered. So it was a very empowering thing to get that power back. So yeah, so that's my experience.
Wow.
Yeah, that is interesting hearing everybody's story, like, and it makes a difference, right? Because if you have a bad first experience, it could just turn you off to ever trying it again. I know there are some women who feel more comfortable with it. Men can be intimidating sometimes, right? Like, so sometimes they want to learn amongst other women, but I sit back and I look and I'm like, I'll see sometimes those newcomers, and you guys notice because you're all RSOs or instructors, the shakiness of holding the gun, that like you can see it, you could feel it in their body language. I did not have a first good experience when I went to shoot. I went with some guy I had met, him and his friend, didn't really know them well. And we walked in, I want to say it was a place in Taylor. And I remember a white guy in front of us looked around and was like, damn, it's a whole lot of it's a whole lot of brothers in here.
Wow.
And I'm like, y'all didn't hear that? I'm like nudging them like, dang, I'm with somebody who y'all either not aware of what is going on or you heard it and you didn't say anything. So that was strike number one. We get in there and it was just like no real like talkers. It was just like put it in a hand and, you know, shoot. And I just remember I shot it once and put it down. I was like, oh, that was fun, and didn't touch it again for a while, you know, and that kind of turned me off for a long time until I kind of met up with you ladies. And then it was like, okay, I can do this, you know. So yeah, that first time experience is huge.
Really. And sometimes it's not about necessarily the experience of shooting, but what happens when you walk into the gun range? How are you greeted? Are you acknowledged properly? Those things, you know, that anxiety can build up from the time you walk into the facility to when you're ready to shoot.
Yeah, that's so true. And like you were saying, Jessica, like just looking around and seeing if those people, did you feel invited being there? You know,
right.
That's definitely going to turn off your experience if they just kind of like look at you, they don't give you that same attention or whatnot. So also another important reason why joining a Black gun club is really so important, really important. So what did you guys' family members think about it? Were they like, oh my goodness, what are you into? Or were they like cheering you on? Did you have any opposition from people or support?
Well, my grandmother, she is like all the way about it, like no guns, we don't do that. So I don't even talk about it with her like at all anymore. Like I just leave her alone. But everybody else is pretty much supportive. My husband, he's very supportive. My children, they like it. I've taken them shooting and taken them to the range, teaching them gun safety, and so everyone's pretty much on board besides my grandma.
Mm-hmm.
My family was like, girl, have you lost your mind? And then, but now slowly but surely, I'm bringing the entire family in. My nephew is one of my RSOs, you know, for our classes, and I got my sister in there. So now they're coming along slowly but surely. But at first they were like, oh no, we don't do firearms. But now everybody's coming along.
Yeah. How about you, Labette? Or did you just were you the trendsetter? Did you get everybody else on the family on board?
I was gonna say my family was pretty supportive. I a few years ago, before I even heard of Black Bottom or anything, I had we all got together, my family got together. Actually, we were together for a funeral, unfortunately. And so one of my uncles was talking about the importance of us like starting our own businesses and things of that nature. And so I remember sitting off to the side with one of my aunts. I have about 1,000 aunts. With one of my aunts and telling her that I wanted to do this. And at first she just kind of looked at me like, guns, really? And I said, yeah, you know, because I really had a heart for, you know, just for other women, because there's so many women who have the same experience, Adrian, that you talked about, and that you talked about, Jessica, going to the range, and I'm the only woman there, and I'm the only Black person. Mm-hmm. And just my personality, I wasn't really fazed. I'll go in there like I own the place. Sometimes I'd be treated well, sometimes I wouldn't. Either way, I was still me and doing me. So I don't know. I felt like, you know, we needed more female instructors out here, especially those who look like us. And, you know, my family was really encouraging, and they thought I was a little crazy. They still do a little bit, but they're calling me and they're wanting to do this because they do see the importance of being able to protect yourself.
Yeah, facts. So what are like some negative stereotypes do you think comes with being a Black woman firearm owner? Or are there any? Have you guys?
They think you angry. They think you hate men. They think you know that you get all of it. It's like, well, why do you need that many guns, Monica? I said, well, why do you need that many purses? I mean, what's the difference?
Yeah. Right. Like, so I don't think I've yet to hear anybody ask a man when, they have their guns on. And I ran into this a couple of times, which being in some of those gun owner Facebook groups, I don't know if you guys are in there, but it's such a minefield of like people's
misogyny.
opinions. It's just like, it's too much sometimes. And I know like they'll post something with the women and, I'm sometimes guilty maybe too of like my perception, but I notice when it's a woman with a firearm, the first thing they're like, well, why does she have so many? Or those, there's always some talk about it. Or I hope, that her husband is, at home with her so nobody can come and take them from her. Like, it's just always that type of thing. So, like Monica said, I definitely agree about the whole, like, oh, you must be angry, why you have so much? What made you go out? What are you trying to compete with or whatever?
But it's not like that with other race, only with us.
Only with us.
Yeah. Unfortunately, almost anything we do, we're labeled as angry. But carrying a gun on top of it, because even some men are hesitant because they think as soon as they make me mad, I'm going to shoot them. No, haven't shot anyone yet to date. And I hope I never have to.
Right.
The difference is that if I have to, I feel like I'm prepared. I'm confident to do it. I don't think there'll be any hesitation on my part if I need to do that. But just because I'm angry with you, and I shoot guns, don't think that I'm just gonna don't let me be angry and that I'm out to
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, go ahead.
I agree with Livette completely. It's funny because it's like one guy told me, he says, well, you don't need a man. You a whole man all by yourself. I said, I'm sorry, what?
Wow.
Right.
Am I?
Right. Yeah.
I said, yeah, don't let this debutante suburban housewife persona fool you. I can definitely take care of myself, but I'm definitely all woman. So, why are you intimidated by the fact that I have firearms?
That's their issue.
I agree. Is that the baby? I'm about to totally fan out right now.
I know. Look, maybe we can see him. The background makes it hard to see him. He's feeding still.
Okay.
So cute. Look, that's next in line for training. He gonna be ready. Aww, so cute. Yeah. So has that been a turnoff for Krista? You're married, so I'm pretty sure it's definitely different. But has that been a turnoff for your mate, for your significant other, or have they been like willing to get pulled in kind of and go on this journey with you?
And for me, like my husband, he's very supportive of it. He's not as into it as I am, but he's not against it at all. He doesn't want to be an instructor or anything, but he's very supportive of what I'm doing.
Yeah. All right, now you guys all are instructors, right? So, or Jessica, you're going to become an instructor soon, but you do RSO and you help a lot of people. Do you find that men are okay with taking kind of direction from you? Or do you sometimes feel like it can be a little bit of a kind of like a barrier because, you are a woman? Or do you feel like they openly receive you in your instruction?
Well, so I don't do too much of the instructing. I leave that to the certified folks, but I will say that, the experience of hosting Ladies Range Day, we've had conversation about the way in which men enter our space and take up space. We want to make sure that our events are led by women and or non-binary folks, right? Or marginalized genders, I should say. So, that is something that we regulate at Ladies Range Day. We want to make sure that the people that are presenting, the people that are instructing, and the people that are in support staff roles are of marginalized genders.
Definitely. It's very important, very important. And I will say with Black Bottom Gun Club, I feel like it is at least it seemed like from my point of view, it's been a very open and kind group to be in, community. So that's
Yeah.
definitely helpful. It makes
Absolutely.
a difference.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I will say, whenever I talk to women about Black Bottom Gun Club, I tell them it's a very safe space for women, and safe spaces are extremely important to me. It's extremely important for self-care, especially for healing processes. And I love that the way that Jessica runs Ladies Range Day, because you feel like, okay, I can drop my shoulders and relax and just be me, and it's okay. So it's really cool. So I do love the fact that the men that we have in Black Bottom, I know we're going to say some things about men not being supportive, but I want to definitely make sure that everybody is fully aware that the men of Black Bottom, they are men. And if you got any questions, if you're a man or not, come to a Black Bottom event and follow suit to what the majority is doing, because the men definitely make me feel strong and safe and cared for and nurtured like a sister. And so I really appreciate, I want to make sure we get that out there, because I don't want the guys to feel like we just don't appreciate them.
And just to piggyback off of that, Monica, I know that I've had the experience of being outside of Black Bottom Gun Club, of going to the range, and men will want to show you something and they feel like they have to put their hands around your waist, or, you know what I mean? Things like that. That's not an experience that we have at Black Bottom. I haven't. I want to speak from my experience only. So anytime that I'm being instructed by a man in the club, they're asking for consent before they, put their hand on your shoulder or move into your space too closely. Like, those intricate details literally define the culture of our club. You know what I mean?
Yes. Big time.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely want to piggyback off of that one, because it is like, I've yet to ever feel uncomfortable around any of the men in Black Bottom Gun Club. Like, and like you said, there's always do you mind if okay, that's all right, you got this. Now next time, like, it's encouraging, but they push you too. They don't let you just sit there and be no punk. They gonna make you, like, they'll, and Ross especially, I'm sorry, I hate to name drop, but I try not to name drop too much, but all of them, they are going to push you. So they're not going to just let you sit up there and, okay, I'm going to shoot. Oh, that was cute. I'm going to shoot again. They're like, I need you to get that spot right there. I need you to hit that there.
Yeah.
And they do it in such a affirming and like a comfortable way. And I'm so appreciative. Like, honestly, I'm just like, I really enjoy being in the group. It has done wonders for my self-esteem, for my confidence. So with the men and women. So definitely, Monica, just want to lift that up, that the men of the group are amazing. It's definitely a great place to be.
I say I started coming to the ladies' range days just to come shoot. I had no intention or thoughts about joining or anything. I was just coming to shoot with other ladies. And they haven't been able to get rid of me. And it's for all the reasons that you all just mentioned. I mean, it's such a safe place. I've learned a lot. I've been encouraged a lot. I've been celebrated. When I do something, they're like, good job, sis. Sometimes I won't even say what I did, but someone else will bring it up and, they'll put it out there. And so I just love how we celebrate each other and we encourage each other and we teach each other and, and we have fun. I love it.
And hold each other accountable, because I get some of those messages on Signal weekly. Did you dry fire this week?
Yes. Yes.
It is definitely been helpful, been a wonderful experience. With that being said, like, what are some of you ladies' goals going into the future? Because I know everyone is, it's the new year. Everyone's thinking about, okay, what does this year look like for me and Firearms? So what are some of your goals going forward? Anybody got a list of them?
I think I've revealed mine already, but I'm absolutely shooting to become an instructor this year. I also want to make sure that I'm continuously improving my own skills, setting a good example, and community work is also a goal for me this year. I want to make sure that it's so hard with COVID going on, but we get into the community either virtually or in person if allowed.
Yeah, those are some good ones. Anybody
and
else?
I would say, for me, I'm a 16-year active duty veteran. I mentioned being in boot camp. So it's one of my goals is to continue to bring the veteran community into responsible gun ownership as a civilian. and integrate them more into the community, because, you know, veterans, we kind of set off on our side, and then female veterans, we're even further pushed out to the side to just pull them in, because since Black Bottom is such a sweet space to be in, I definitely want to make sure that that relationship gets formed and formulated this year. That's really important to me. And then also pick up a second certification. I'm certified through the NRA, and I'm looking to get certified through USCCA, and actually a third one, I'm sorry, through figure out how to do the NAAGA one, because NAAGA created their own certification.
Oh, dope. You're gonna be busy.
Yeah.
Nice.
I got a few things aside from trying to, I would love to continue to teach other women. I'm not discounting the men though, because some of my male students have been awesome. They've been awesome. You asked the question earlier about, you know, how we are received by male students. Pretty good. I've only really had one who, you know, wanted to do things his own way, and it didn't end well for him. But so I would like to continue to.
We tried it, huh?
And just get more and more women confident and comfortable with shooting and firearm ownership. Oh, but I'm sorry, my daughter is not.
You good? That's okay.
That's one of the beautiful parts about being a woman. You don't just get to just have an interview. You got to do 5 things.
Right. I was saying
multitask.
LeVette's over there multitasking.
Yes.
But I would also like to, and I wasn't going to say anything about this to anybody, but I would like to write a children's book.
Oh,
yeah.
I know a couple of illustrators.
Oh, there you go.
Because I know a few, and so that's in the works. That's in the works. They do have children's books about gun safety, but not a lot with children that look like our children.
Good idea.
I think that makes a big difference when we can see ourselves represented, and so that's one thing that's on the horizon.
Oh,
I love that.
Good on you, Lavette.
And I would also like, see, I do too much probably, but I would also like to do more classes beyond the CPL. There is a gap. Many people will get their CPLs, especially these days, these last few months. They'll get their CPL and still not have an idea what to do with that gun.
Yes.
So I'm creating a curriculum for like after the CPL, but before like the defensive pistol class, because there is a gap. There is a gap.
Big time.
So there's a few things that are on the horizon. I'm always saying I'm going to slow down, but I don't know if I know how.
Stop. Can't help it. That's awesome, Lavette.
Adrian, can I add one more thing? Because I know we talk about responsible gun ownership, and we talk about, you know, women specifically. And I know last year I had 2 women call me, and I had to go to the hospital to meet them because, you know, grandpa or uncle was in the hospital, possibly passing away, and there was firearms involved. They had firearms on them, so they had to be taken out of the hospital. And one of the important things about teaching us, women who look like us, about responsible gun ownership, even if you never intend on actually carrying a firearm, you still need to know how to handle one. You need to know how to carry one, how to transport one, because you can think that you're just doing a favor by taking it from the hospital back to the house and giving it to grandma. But if you get pulled over and you don't have that firearm stored properly in your car, you can get in a lot of trouble with the police, and then you have legal ramifications. So taking the classes, coming out to Ladies Range Day, being a part of the firearm community is more than just about having steel on your hip. It has a lot, because we have a lot of responsibilities. I'm just thinking about Lynette right now with the baby and talking to her daughter, and I got my stuff going on here. We all do. We have multiple things. So being a part of that community can help bridge some other gaps for you. And so even if you're anti-gun or just not real comfortable with them, that's okay. But there's other things that you have to learn or need to learn because of all the roles and responsibilities that we have as women. So
yeah, facts. Real. Crystal?
Yeah, I was gonna say, some of my goals that I have are to launch a successful firearms training company, just myself right now. And want to bring more to the women's department in Malcolm Little Gun Club. I love what Jessica is doing down there in Black Bottom. I really admire her so much for what she's doing down there. So I would like to bring more of that to Malcolm Little Gun Club and to the community here in Lansing. And just train myself and get more education and take more classes to improve on my teaching methods also.
Always.
Yeah, those are all some good ones. Yeah, I agree. I know for me, I'm same thing. I think just consistently training. So I had a goal to do like twice a month training, but then that ammo situation hit and the price of ammo hit. And I'm like, because before I would just buy ammo and just be like, after about 30 minutes, my arms get like tired. I'm over it. I don't know how y'all can just consistently keep going. I'm not there yet, but I was just shooting like, I got a couple more. I'm gonna just shoot them off. Now I'm just like, every bullet matters. Like I refuse to just like shoot just to shoot. It's like I got a purpose. I'm trying to aim somewhere. I'm trying to get better. But my goal is to be more consistent. And that's the many things that I like about the ladies range day is that you're gonna get there once a month. You're gonna have a good time with it. And you get a chance to experience some different types of firearms. So I definitely want to keep with the training. And I keep hearing in my voice, I don't know if you guys sat in on that Ross training about competitive shooting. Even though I'm nowhere near competitive shooting, he kept saying, why not? Like, why y'all not gonna get out there and do it? As long as you do the safety part, who cares if you don't hit nothing? It's the experience of it. And then he talks about, because we look at him and we're like, man, we trying to get to that level. Like, that's like our kind of shining star that we like, if we can just get on that trajectory to get where he's at. And he always talks about his first time competitive shooting. And he said it was bad. I remember the story. He said it did not go the way I planned, but he still kept going. So that's one of my goals is maybe to start. I want to say maybe I want to keep getting the training and eventually do the competitive part just to get over the fear of it, because I'm still a little bit nervous. I won't lie. Like now I see like the transitions. I used to get to the firearm and I'm like, I would be the last one to do the first shot because I'm just like, okay, Adrian, come on, and then now I get in there and I do it and I can clear a jam now. Like it's them little things that make you feel like, dang, okay, I'm getting somewhere, looking at your target and being like, oh man, the drill of the month, I was able to get, within vicinity of what they asking for. So I just want to keep with the training with you ladies and just keep honing in on my skills, take some more classes, push myself a little more. That's the goal.
Yeah.
Just
so when you first start shooting, it's hard to see like the pathway of improvement. I remember when I first started shooting and I literally was barely hitting the paper. And it's kind of hard to imagine yourself with tight groupings and being able to draw from a holster smoothly and, all of those fundamental drills that we work on. But having the example, Levette was one of my examples to be like, oh, okay, maybe I can do this.
Right.
Having that example and having that leadership within our club is phenomenal.
It really is. Like there's just a plethora, like you can just turn to pretty much anybody and they're going to help you get along that way. I went to the club president, Chad King, and like he did a lot of my one-on-one training. I did my CPL through him. And it was just like, I could see like, oh my God, I'm getting somewhere. Yeah. I'm trying to play it cool. Like, I do a little something, but I can see, like you said, I didn't know what the pathway was. And then he would say, okay, well, this is what a pathway would look like. This is where you start off. And then he gave me all these kind of like measurable type of things. Then you got a proficiency test, the marksman test. And then like, but here are things you need to do to get along that way. But I think, Monica, you brought up a really super good point. There's so much more involved than that one day CPL course. People take it. And Levette, you said the same thing. You take that course and you don't see those people anymore after that. Or they ran out and they got a gun because the climate, everything was going on. But then it's scary. And I know when I got my firearm, there was a sister that was in there. And like to this day, I'm so fearful for her and her situation because like she had no training. She did a online CPL course, and I thought, oh, okay, when do you do the range? And she was like, no, I didn't do the range. And I'm thinking, oh my God, how is that gonna work? And who let you do that? You know, and then it's like, but now you're getting a firearm to protect yourself. You need to protect yourself from yourself, it sounds like you might be gonna be the biggest disadvantage is your own self. Like, do you know about the transporting? I didn't know till somebody told me, hey, make sure that ammo ain't in the bag with your firearm, like separate those out.
Right.
EPL, you know, like carrying, you know, it's just all those little things that instead of trying to figure out all of it on your own, it's good to have the support of other people helping you out with that.
Yeah, that's something that I would absolutely like to lift up for folks that are moving towards becoming CPL holders or just looking for more training in general. Please, please, please research your instructors.
Please.
You know what I mean? There's so much space available within that instructor certification. You can be the bare minimum instructor and get the CPL instructor certification, or you can be an amazing instructor, right? So we just want to make sure that we research the people that are doing the class, ask for more information about their class. Those are things, small details that we can gather before we move forward with giving them our money.
So true. So true. Very, especially now since everybody, I won't say everybody, but there's a lot of people that I feel like are trying to capitalize off of it as a business, as opposed to it's an empowerment type of thing. Like I want to help people be able to safely and correctly know how to use a firearm, as opposed to, oh, they like counting up if I do 10 people at 100 something, like, you know what I mean? Like, so it's very important, like you said, to know who is your instructor, you know. And for me, it was always important to make sure my person was tied to some community. Like I see that how they operate out in the community, how they're respected, how they're, you know, looked towards, are they knowledgeable about the laws? Not to say they need to be a lawyer by any means, but just some simple, like them telling me, nah, you can't do that. Like, nope, don't do that. You know, that's important. Yeah. Anything else that you ladies? So we got some training that's going on, which I'm already know we're going to keep each other accountable. So we're going to have to list them out somewhere so nobody falls short. But what else are you looking forward to? I know I'm looking forward to getting outdoors with you ladies again. Maybe a field day, like a full day. We'll have somebody come out and barbecue. Hopefully, you know, the Rona will be gone by that time. I know it ain't going to be gone, but maybe to be safer. And we can, you know, be amongst each other and play with, I don't know the names of y'all's little friends. I just know y'all tried to steal somebody's dream. We took somebody's firearm and tried to rename it.
Yeah, we borrowed Michelle and
Leon.
Leon's Michelle and tried to rename it to Idris because we all fell in love with it.
They tried hard. I kept looking at him. I was like, oh, he looked like he worried that they might actually take this gun from him.
He should know how we are.
Yeah.
Pulled out all his toys and
so he wasn't gonna play with them.
Hey y'all, next summer I am absolutely looking forward to doing a collaborative Ladies Range Day between Malcolm Little, Black Bottom, the Grand Rapids chapter, and the Flint chapter as well. So hopefully, I just think it would be amazing to see all of us together. That's powerful. Hopefully at an outdoor range so we can move and shoot, and I think that'll be a great time.
That will be nice. I like that. What's the other two? So you said there's one in Grand Rapids and there's one in where? Flint?
There's one in Grand Rapids and Flint, and I am at a loss for their Bedrock Gun Club. And then Grand Rapids, anybody know the Grand Rapids chapter off the top of their head?
Denmark Vesey.
Thank you.
And Bedrock Gun Club. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So we well represented here in Michigan, which is good. I know Ross always says Michigan is a very I don't know what's the right word to put it. Not gun friendly, but it's
we shoot around here.
Yeah, right. That's the best way to say it. We shoot around here. Yeah, so he said it's always a good place here in Michigan to take advantage of that. So definitely know that we're doing that right now as a group. And Jessica, I think that's an amazing idea to get everybody together. We get to meet other women from different clubs and continue to build that community.
Yeah. And also, if I may lift up, I just wanted to, a lot of people seem to attribute Ladies Range Day to me. It would be nothing without the instructors in this club. So Lavette, Crystal, Monica, Lisa, Cheryl is an instructor as well. We have a lot of instructors in our club, and Ladies Range Day would be nothing without those people. So just want to put that out on the tape.
And that's why I like this group. Like, nobody try to take the shine. Like, it's always like, if you say thank you such and such for what you do, that person will be like, oh, but you know who I gotta thank is, everybody else. It really is a wonderful community. I really cannot say that enough. And it's a wonderful community amongst, in my opinion, gun community can be very, very like aggressive. It can be very know-it-all. But I've yet to feel that from anyone in our group. So, and Crystal, I'm definitely looking forward to shooting with you. So like especially for 2021, when that weather gets even semi-warm, y'all, we got to get out there and do it. So
absolutely.
Yeah. So what impact do you guys are looking to have? I think you kind of talked about it already, but either as Guns Blazing, or what is it, Balanced Body Network? Yeah, and then Krista with what you're doing, and Jessica with what you're doing. Like, what impact are you looking to leave?
I'll answer that one. I'll go first. I would my goal also, in addition to, teaching and helping as many people as I can and learning as much as I can, but my goal is also to change the way we are viewed as women, as Black people, and Black gun owners. Many times when something is in your face all the time, you become desensitized to it. Well, society is not desensitized to us. They're not used to us carrying guns. And so they still look at us, like Monica said, as angry. They look at us as menaces, or like we're out to do something that no one else is doing. This is a sport. This is something we love to do. And so my goal is for the rest of the world to just see us like everybody else. Leave us alone, just let us do our thing, and leave it at that. But that is my goal, for us to be viewed in a positive manner, as opposed to a negative manner all the time.
Love it. That's so important, and one thing I meant to mention earlier about just kind of how people view Black women and guns, when I mentioned about that, I think sometimes there's a tend to, and it can not be bad in some ways, but it's bad in the way that I've seen it. I don't know if you guys have seen a lot of images with women in firearms, but it's always some super sexual, like they got on a bikini and they're carrying, and I'm like, well, where the man with the, with no, with just some drawers on with a gun, like posing with.
Shooting a shotgun and a thong. Where he at?
Yeah, where he at?
So it's just like
the guys at Black Bottom right now are like, Lord, please don't ask us to do that.
Don't worry.
Yes, I like you said about just having that image, like getting out that angry, as Monica's saying, like, oh, you must be an angry Black woman, or you don't need nobody because you just out there doing all this on your own, that type of thing. It's so much beyond that. So wonderful. What about anybody else got what impacts are you looking to leave in doing what you're doing?
I would love to see the stigmatism definitely go away. Everything that Lavette said without taking anything away. And I would like to see the stigmatism go away, because people say, oh, well, I don't want to have firearms in my home because I got small children. And I asked them, I said, has your 5-year-old ever grabbed your butcher knife to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich? No. Why? Because you taught them to use this versus that. So we have this it's a fear because somebody can lose their life, which is legitimate. I'm not trying to take that away, but we have this fear, this unrealistic fear of, if I have a gun in the house, or if I have any type of weapon in the house, all these horrible things are going to happen. And it's like, but I've never seen a 5-year-old grab a butcher knife to make a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. And the butcher knives are literally 6 inches away from the butter knives.
Easily accessible, right.
Yeah, easily accessible. So, and again, my 16 years in the military, you know, you watching 4-year-old boys of other nationalities and other races up in the tree whittling away with a little knife, and they got their own little gun to shoot the little squirrels or whatever. But we don't want our kids to have access. We don't want our families to have access until after something horrible has happened, or until we get to this part where we are right now in the social climate that we're in, and we're not prepared. It's not part of our rote memory. It's not part of our everyday. We know how to lace up our J's. We know how to get stains out of our J's. We know how to, you know, press our pants, do all these different things, but we have no fundamental knowledge of responsible gun ownership. It's foreign to us, and that is insane. You know, and so that's one of the things that I would like to see coming forward, that it becomes normalized. It's like the butcher knife sitting 6 inches from the butter knife. It's just something that's in the house, but you don't mess with it until you have to mess with it. The other thing is for teaching people how to have diplomacy, how to use other things instead of going from 0 to 60 when they're upset about stuff. Teaching people how to go back and use their words, because one of the things that when we have our training classes, you know, they always talk about, you know, nonviolent posture. Hey, I'm backing up. And using your words, or thinking through a process to get yourself out of a bad situation. I know when I'm carrying my firearm on me, when something is starting to happen, I step to the side of the fan and go ahead and leave long before something comes up where I have to respond in that way. So I think it becomes a tool that you can use to help you through a process, you know, so.
So true. So true.
I think it's up to us to change the narrative or the way we're viewed. We've been taught so many years, we've been taught for generations that we shouldn't carry, that we shouldn't own, that we shouldn't ourselves. And so I think it's more impactful coming from us if we tell each other, if we're telling other folks who look like us, hey, yo, it's okay. It's okay to have 10 guns if you want. There's nothing wrong with it. We're probably the only ones who don't. The only race who don't. So it's more impact. I think it comes from us, from within. I think that's everyone on this panel. That's our goal.
True.
You want to go, Crystal? Or you want me to go?
I just agree with everything that Monica and Lavette already said. You know, I mean, it's not much more left for me to say. You know, I mean, I agree with what they both said. You know, I want to empower other women, and especially Black women. You know, we need to normalize this. You know, our children should be out there training as well, and you know, becoming responsible firearm owners. You know, let's have all this stuff embedded in our brains, have this muscle memory. Let's get this going in our communities.
Yeah, absolutely. The impact that I'm focused on for 2021 is continuing to create the culture of inclusivity. I want to make sure that some of those identities and attractions that are less visible in the Black community, specifically folks of trans experience and queer folk, are uplifted and feel included, right? Because sometimes, and this is straight up a call out for our program for Ladies Range Day, sometimes there are people that don't necessarily feel like they are included in the name Ladies Range Day. So we want to make sure that everybody feels like this is a space for them, and create inclusivity in all things. All of us or none of us, period.
Yeah, great point, Jessica. Because if we as women already feel a little bit sometimes like, oh, is this a place for me? Imagine someone else who's already feeling like marginalized, or like they don't ever get considered. And I remember it sometimes, because, and I have to like try to see things through a different lens, but it can be hard sometimes. Jessica, you posted one day about Ladies Range Day when it was open for anybody to come, and you were specific about who was more than welcome to come. And I remember someone commented, was like, thank you so much. You were the first person who I've ever heard. I don't know if you remember this.
Oh yeah, I remember that post. Yeah.
So like, that's so important, you know, and so I just thank you for what you do for that. You know, we have to continue to think about making sure everyone is included in this, because everybody's life is important. Everybody needs to have those fundamentals and need to build that confidence. And it's such a, again, like I said, thank God it's not with our organizations, but it can feel like a minefield to kind of navigate through.
Right.
So I will add in whoever sees this video, commit to memory our faces. We are friendly. If you are a human being with a heartbeat and you say, hey, I want to learn, I want to listen, I want to come and participate, even if you are a guy, because we've had a couple of men show up to Ladies Range Day. They brought their daughters with them, but they still show up to Ladies Range Day, and we made them feel included. So if you are a lady or female or non-binary, or just you have a heartbeat and you feel like, I don't know where my space is, look at these faces on this panel. You're where you belong is standing next to one of us or all of us. So just know that that you are definitely welcome.
So agree with that. So agree with that. And you're gonna have fun. Like, you are going to have fun. I've yet to go to a dual Ladies Range Day, or just even not even just beyond the Ladies Range Day, whether it be them being in training in from Body by O and Tasha from Texas, when they come down and just bring the heat to Detroit. Like, it's always a great experience. And
Yeah.
Jessica, y'all know, I think me and you was in that first class together with Body by O about 2 years ago.
Yeah, Levette was in there too.
Levette, you were Levette, that's right. Because I was like, thank God I was I might have been next to you, stood next to you the whole time. Because I'm like, I'm about to just do whatever Levette doing. Look, it was funny. I thank God I got a sense of humor, because is crazy. Okay.
Just make sure you got knee pads, because you're doing push-ups. You doing push-ups, you doing squats. You might as well go and get it together. Put some gloves on. This part of your hand gonna be raw because it's gonna be in that gravel. Just put knee pads on.
All right. Yep. If whoever's watching, make sure y'all check out Body Bio Tactical and the Tactical Social Worker, because they will work you.
Yes.
I'll make sure I add them to the notes section. So if anybody's looking to get that additional tactical training, but yeah, after that day, I think I took a bath and went to bed and didn't wake. Like, I was like, and y'all did the 2 classes. So that other class, like you were saying, Monica, with the getting on your knees and push-ups.
But I'll say this too, because I forgot who touched on this earlier. There's just a difference. I think it was you, Jessica. There's a difference when you're shooting with people who look like you. That was probably my first experience shooting with just us. Right. And everyone was relaxed, and you didn't have to watch what you said. I don't know. I don't think called me by my name at all that day. He called anime, Florida, all of them. But those
inside cultural jokes, I love it.
I do too.
It was so fun, and it was just. But we learned a lot. It was just that. It was a camaraderie. It was a family. It was just all of that, and that's the draw. That's the draw that kept me coming back.
For sure.
And don't let me scare you talking about doing push-ups, because I used to be able to do them when I was in service, but I've been out for a long time and I just couldn't. And when I went to go drop down, do that first push-up, and then I got to the bottom and completely fell down. Looked at me. He was like, you're gonna have to fix that. So so I've been working on that to get these push-ups back together. So don't worry about it. If you can't do it, there's alternative things that you can do. But even it's done in love, even when you can't succeed at doing something.
Yeah, right. It made it a good. Well, I was just sitting back watching the first year everybody else go through the mayhem, and I was thinking, let me make sure I don't sign up for this class next year. But I'm gonna be ready for him for next year, or for this year. Hopefully, if he come back through here, that'll be dope. So we got to train up before he get here, because I ain't trying to look like no punk.
Right.
Gotta get the knee pads. You said, Levette?
The good ones.
Any other parting words, or is there anything you want to talk about your business, or about anything with the gun club, Crystal, that you guys think is important to leave people with? I definitely hope, if you guys are okay, that we can do maybe a part 2, maybe kind of later on in the year, to see, okay, what new things have we done? How did we push ourselves? Again, holding each other lovingly and accountable type of fashion. So is there anything that we did not touch on that you think it is so important for people to hear?
I would just say, if this is someone's first time, hearing about firearms in this manner, just go out and get some training. Find one of us if you're in the Michigan area, or whatever area you're in. Find a certified instructor and get some good training going. And don't stop training. continue to train throughout your journey.
I think that never stop training. You know, even us as instructors, always trying to learn something, always trying to learn something. Always talking to somebody like, yo, I'm coming to your class and I'm gonna, you know. But on top of that, I would also say, you know, learn some history. Learn some history about Black gun ownership and, you know, just our history behind it. We've been criminalized throughout the years, but our ancestors carried, and I think if you dig into the history of it,
yeah, no, yeah, good point. I agree. There is a definitely a deep history with Black people and firearm ownership, from just how we've been deprived, how we still fight to have the same 2A rights, and you know, it's a lot there. It's a lot of information, and that's another good thing, is that there's always this history lesson that you can learn within the club. They do a good job of uplifting people and different events that have happened that has formed and shaped views and laws with firearms related to Black people. So definitely. Anything else, Jessica or Monica, that's important to add before we go?
I'll go so Jessica can have the last word. I will definitely say, go, if you're not in Michigan, whatever state you're in, go to your state's website, search the laws, know what the laws are, read the laws. If you have questions, talk to a Second Amendment lawyer. Most people they'll do a little free 10-15 minute Q&A. Just keep it general. Don't get down into the weeds of the story, but learn for yourself what the laws are. Don't just accept what anyone tells you, because anything about dealing with firearms, there is something written about it. There's an ordinance, there's a law, there's an expectation, there's a ruling. So you must educate yourself when it comes to this. It's extremely important. And I definitely agree with the other ladies. Yeah, you have to continue your education and take classes, because none of us stop. We go backwards sometimes, because sometimes we forget some things and go, oh wow, fundamentally I messed that up. So you never get too big to continue to learn, and you just keep expanding your horizon, and you keep pulling people in the process of responsible gun ownership. It's a journey. It's definitely not a destination. And I will say specifically, ladies, when you get your CPL and you put that firearm in your shoulder bag or on your body, you must practice with it daily. You must use it. You must go to the range and actually fire it. You must put a hollow point round through it. That's very different than a full metal jacket. It feels different when you pull that trigger. So it's important, because I've been a sexual assault and domestic violence advocate, and I've gone and we've had to put, cloths over people's bodies, and they have firearms in them that never left the holster. So just having it is not a Willy Wonka ticket. It has to be part of you. You have to be comfortable with it. Don't let your guy or your girl tell you what kind of firearm you should be using or have. Don't let a store clerk tell you, because they may sell you something that doesn't work. They always want to put teeny tiny guns in women's hands. I got big hands. My ring finger's a size 10 for my future husband who's listening. I got big hands. You cannot put a tiny gun in my hands. It gets lost. It doesn't work for me. So figure out what works for you. That's what's important. The best gun is the best gun that works for you. Unless it's a high point, but we're not buying those.
I'm trying to catch one day. I'm gonna learn about this. Y'all, they be dogging high points. I'm like, why is they still making them if people just be dogging them?
I said I was gonna stop dogging them because I've never shot one. Nice.
I was gonna say marketing. Don't fall for all the pink cute guns. That's a marketing boy right now.
Yeah.
Don't do it. Get a good gun. Get a good gun, y'all.
A reputable.
Yes. That's my pick. Sorry.
I feel you, right? They try to pink it up because it looks like
and they
and
they want to sell us a $300 gun that you may be able to spend $301 and get a gun that's 150% better than the one you have. So if you don't have the money for it, your gun budget is your gun budget. I'm not trying to get into your gun budget, but look at things and figure it out.
Don't go cheap. Just like you wouldn't go cheap on those shoes, don't go cheap on the gun.
And trust in community. This is what we're here for. If you need some type of advice or shared experience, we're here. So
And we like to shoot. We just, any excuse to go to the range.
Yeah, you want to go? Let's go. I'll
Yeah.
you know, like Adrian, you were saying, because the price of ammo, I was trying to figure out New Year's Eve. I counted off a couple car payments and some car insurance. I was like, where do people get this money from? And can I get your ammo budget? But you know, go to the range. Okay, I'm gonna shoot 12 rounds. I'm just gonna shoot 12. I'm gonna hit these three, and these three, and then I'm out. You know, because I've been dry firing at the house. You know, so I'm with you, Adrian, on saving the ammo.
Yeah, but I'm looking forward to getting with you guys. I enjoy it. Like, I sit back and watch y'all be dancing. Like, I think Jessica last time was just like straight up dancing at the, right? Yeah, I'm like, it made me so excited, you know, and I'm starting to feel that enthusiasm more and more as I get more comfortable. And Jessica, did you want to add something before we close out?
Yeah, so just real quick, y'all, just to piggyback off of everything that they said, which was facts and true. Practicing firearms is a perishable skill, so we want to make sure we are replenishing it as often as your budget and your time allows. And Ladies Range Day, we meet every fourth Saturday of the month. Currently, it's closed to members only, just because we want to take precautions for COVID and things like that. But yeah, we're here. Feel free to reach out to us on Facebook, Black Bottom Gun Club, and or Instagram, Black Bottom Gun Club. And we hope to see y'all out in the range.
Definitely. Well, I'm looking forward to having like I said, a follow-up. But for today, thank you so much. I feel like there was so much information dropped. I've yet to see anyone really lift up Black women in firearms and let them tell from their side of things, their perspective. So this has been so amazing. I'm excited, looking forward to doing more work with everyone, and definitely looking forward to, let's see, we got January. I'm pretty sure I'll see everybody at Ladies Range Day in January, if not sooner, because I think we even talked about adding in an extra, the Ladies Range Day at one of the new firearm places, the new ranges that opened up. So as it starts to get warmer, I'm pretty sure we'll be out more and amongst each other. But thank you, ladies. This has been wonderful. Looking forward to a part 2 with everyone. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Wonderful.